My problems with Sega this generation.
So the other day, I was having a conversation with someone on social media, and a person that's a fellow YouTuber and gamer uh, that I respect very much, have a lot of admiration for, um, and we were talking about a really exciting and interesting topic of something that was kind of bothering me. Basically, about Sega and things that I'm really disappointed with them this generation. Now, I'm not going to mention his name because this is not no beef video, it's not no shade video, and before anybody tries to twist it and turn it into that, I'll make sure that I nip it in the bud right in the beginning. But the problem when you talk on social media is that when you're doing those texting back and forth, you never get to have the ability, right, to uh, um, express yourself back and forth with people where you can get the subject across, the topic across, with any type of, misunderstanding, even sometimes people feeling like maybe you're attacking them or having a personal shade thrown at them. So for me, the best way to always kind of give a better expression of yourself is always through talking either in person or through a video or on a podcast, because you have that freedom of being live and talking back and forth, in real time. So um, let's get right to it, guys. Hey, thank you for joining me. It's your boy Hebot once again. I'm here trying to, like I said, do some videos that I think will be interesting topics and things that might catch your attention, hopefully. So basically, as you see in the title, my problem with Sega. I couldn't really fill it all in, but it's basically my problem with Sega this generation. And the reason why I titled that, and the subject of the matter was, because as I've told a lot of people, I have always followed Sega, console to console, since they got out of the hardware business with the Sega Dreamcast. I've always followed them because I am a very big Sega fan. Sega basically took gaming for me on another level, whether it was at home with their home consoles or in the arcades, even though I've been gaming since 1978. So, first and foremost, if anybody wants to question my claim, I have these games here in front of me to simply prove that, yes, I have followed Sega throughout the years. And I'll start with just a few. For example, PS2. I have here Route 66, the sequel to 18 Wheeler. I have Shinobi for the PS2, which was also exclusive. The sequel, which is Nightshade. Gungrave from the manga and anime by Sega. One of the best PS2 games ever made, underrated, people didn't know of. That was from Sega, which is Blood Will Tell. And the only fighter that came out exclusive from the Virtual Fighter series, Virtual Fighter 4, and this is the Evolutions version, which is basically the one with everything in it, the director's cut, if you will, right? Then I followed suit, and I also followed them on OG Xbox with games like Crazy Taxi 3, games like Panzer Dragoon Orta, games like Gun Valkyrie, games like Otage 1 from Software, and Otage 2 from Software. Then, obviously, I followed them also when they went to 360 generation. And in the 360 generation, obviously, we got games exclusive like Condemn 1, exclusive for the 360. On the PS3, we got exclusive games like House of the Dead, Overkill, the extended cut. This first was exclusive to the Wii, but then they did a director's cut on the PS3, which I picked up, which was only available on PS3, along with House of the Dead 4, that didn't come out anywhere else, exclusive only to PS3. Then on the Wii I got Mad World from Platinum Games. Phenomenal game as well. The remaster of Nights, which is only available on the Wii. The new interpretation of Alien Syndrome in 3D on Wii as well. And of course, on the Wii U, Bayonetta 2. Okay? So, you guys may ask, well, why, showing the games? What's the connection? And basically, it's just to solidify and to prove my claim that I've always followed Sega on multiple consoles for their games. Now, if you notice, with what I just showed you, most of their games, when they had a big ton of exclusives on PS2 and Xbox OG, was during the era where they were still supporting and giving a lot of love on both sides of the coin, meaning on all platforms, right? With Sega, doing a deal with them, and some games that Sony did deals with them. But the biggest difference that I keep telling people is that most of the games they planted on consoles like the PS2, PS3, the Wii, with the exception of Bayonetta, right, or even the DS and the PS4 now in this era, those were put there by choice because they're more Japanese-centric consoles that the Japanese culture embraces and society embraces in Japan a lot more. It's no secret. And the Xbox, they did not embrace. The OG Xbox had those 12 and 14 game deal because they paid for it. They paid to have them there on the OG Xbox to make the OG Xbox more appealing to the Japanese market, which still they did not embrace. So, if you saw that on the 360, because it was launched first, so they put a game called Condemned. But after that, pretty much everything else that came out was not exclusive. Everything else that came out, with the inclusion of Condemned 2, was only multi-platform from Sega, whether it was The Cave, Renegade Ops, Hell Yeah, Binary Domain, Vanquish, Bayonetta 1, and things of that nature, which you guys get the point. Same thing happened with the PS3 era. They didn't put a lot, but they still managed to put more exclusives on PS3 than they did on the Xbox console, even though the Xbox console, the 360, was the leading platform for 3 or 4 years before the PS3 started to pick up in pace and pick up in sales because of the difference in price, and they made it more appealing and easier for all gamers to go out and buy it. But they still got Yakuza, they still got Valkyrian Chronicles, and little titles here and there that were more Japanese-centric. My biggest problem, though, with them this generation is that this generation, they have not put any, and I mean any, exclusive title on Xbox One at all. Okay? And why is that a problem to me? Because this generation made things way easier for developers to put their games on certain platforms because of the freedom and the differences in comparison to all other generations before this one. Yakuza is still an exclusive to to PS4. And so is now games like the upcoming Fist of the North Star, or games like the Valkyrian Chronicles series, which now is coming out, but how are they bringing it out? They're bringing it out digitally. And my point of it bothering me is because if you can bring out games now in digital format where you don't have to pay for shipping, international costs, shelves costs, like putting it on the shelves, storage space, or for boxing it in a box, and all consoles from the Xbox One to PS4 and the Switch are region free, then why not embrace it, all the consoles by adding the games on there digitally? If the PS4 has a higher and stronger presence in Japan as a console, then it's understandable why they can put it physical and digitally. It makes more sense for them. I get it. But in this case, since the Xbox is not a presence in Japan, and a lot of people identify more Fist of the North Star anime and manga with the Japanese market than America, then why not bring it out digitally? I mean, Fist of the North Star did embrace and start an audience on the 360 era last generation with Ken's Rage 1 and 2. And for many years, there's been plenty of Fist of the North Star games on other platforms, even on the Genesis, which was the last battle. Okay? If for those who may not have known. Plus, if everything that we've seen to this point has proven that games like Crash Bandicoot, for example, right? And games like not only Crash Bandicoot, Hellblade, and Nier Automata came out strictly digital, except Crash, right? And even Crash came out physical and is doing very well, even though Crash does associate more with an American audience. I get it. I understand that. But Nier Automata is still, right now, on the top paid section for the 360, which tells you the game is doing, or tells me, right, in this case, that the game is doing fairly well on Xbox One as well. And it's very Japanese-centric, right? Which nobody supported Nier Automata 1 on the 360 or the PS3. The game sold terribly. And guess what? It was the same type of environment and game style. Only the combat is different now with the platinum flavor, obviously. But the combat was still fairly decent. Now, my biggest gripe is that it sold more even though it didn't do well on 360, right? So they put it there digitally, and it worked for them. Same thing like Hellblade. It worked for them. So now why Sega decides to give only certain games, like Toomba, a badass elephant, and also the very good and underrated Alien Isolation, which is also an American property. That's another reason why. First and foremost, only on 360 on the Xbox One, and maybe I don't know if they'll bring it to the Switch later on, but only those. But they, and they won't put the games that are now got a cult following and are more world renowned and more well respected, like a Yakuza or a Fist of the North Star. So that whole point was in the discussion that I had with my friend and on the in the gaming community on Twitter the other day, was that they have more options. They shouldn't stop including the Xbox community or even the Nintendo community. They could make it happen somehow, because these games are not being paid for by Sony. Sony's not paying for the exclusivities of none of those games. They're self-published by Sega, and the development is being paid by Sega. So there's no excuses. Now, if they pay for a time exclusivity, like Sony did with games like Until Dawn, The Order, or that they actually bought the IPs as well, or Bloodborne, then I don't have a problem with it. It's completely understandable. But if they if they paid a time exclusivity for like a couple of months for it to be on PlayStation 4 first, that's fine. They can do that as well, as long as it comes to the other platforms and others get to play it and don't get alienated from the opportunity to play them. And I know the argument that even my friend pointed out was, well, that gives you more of a reason to buy all consoles. And he's right. Yes, it does. But here's the real problem. Not everyone that does this as a hobby has the ability to go out and buy all consoles and games. So if they want to play a game, they should have the right to play it on their preferred console that they chose to buy due to their economical situation or stature. And I hear people saying things like, well, if this is an expensive hobby, then you shouldn't be playing and doing this if you can't afford it. That's a really self-centered thing to say, and it's a really selfish thing to say. Everyone deserves to play video games if it brings them some type of relaxation, some type of mind, peace of mind, or just to, have a good time with their kids and their families, doing, something we could, recreational, that's safe and fun, right? So, I don't agree with that statement because of that. Because I know we live in a day and era where we can get expensive phones and TVs and things like that, but there's still many people out there that can't afford to get multiple consoles. And for that reason alone, if they are an Xbox gamer, they should have the right to play an Xbox game that's Japanese centric, like a Fist of the North Star or like a Yakuza, on their preferred platform instead of going out and spending more money if it makes it difficult for them to be able to purchase other consoles. So Sega, that's my biggest disappointment. I don't think there's any excuse, and I don't think nobody should damage control it or agree with them doing this. Unless it's something that's timed, that's not going to be staying there permanently, then I see this as not helping the community, not helping gaming move forward, or help the games get a different audience and a bigger appeal by having a wider audience. I think this hurts gaming and games in general in the long run. That's basically my point of what I was trying to say. Not only to him, but others that have brought up the subject. And that is why I'm disappointed with Sega at this point. But a lot of it I know has to do because they're now being really driven and the people in charge are mostly Japanese-centric people. So of course they're going to appeal to their wider audience, which would be the Japanese market. I get it. But digitally, it doesn't cost them anything. They get almost full percentage and profits of whatever they make on those games. And even if they get a small amount, like 20,000 copies or units sold only, for either one of those games, the more people that play it and give it good feedback in the Xbox community, or let's say on Nintendo, that'll say, yo, that's actually a really good franchise, a really good game. The potential it has to just grow for them to make more profit and get a wider audience with the next version or iterations of those games and the future releases. So I believe, for me, in my opinion, it's a win-win for them regardless. So that's what I wanted to talk about, guys. Thank you for joining me. Like and leave comments in the bottom. If you're new to my channel, thank you for stopping by. And if you want to subscribe, please hit the sub button and give a thumbs up, leave a comment. I hope you guys understand where this video came from. It's from the heart. I love Sega, so I want the best for them as well, whether I don't agree with all of their decisions this generation particularly, but I'm still a big fan. And I hope there's only room to grow, like Capcom did, that they fixed their mistakes and have really came back batting 100%, and they're doing well, and I'm happy for them. And that's the same thing I want for Konami and Sega in the long run, because they're still around, and they were from my childhood, and made amazing games with amazing properties that they can bring back. So guys, like I said, thank you again. Big shout outs to Mr. 100 and the gang at intromediagaming.com and Intromedia. Big shout outs to the Micropod or Microbox podcast with my boy Microbox of X. and Del Poy, Andrew McKee, and the Shermanator. Love that guy. Big shout outs to my other family and group at the Infinite Rooms of the DX Mansion with my boy Dorian Bumpus, Andre Federico, Ricardo Vasquez, Chris Dove, and many, many, many amazing people over there. Awesome Facebook group. The best Xbox Facebook group, period. And also, along with Project Xbox, with my boys Microbox. And also with my boys at the DirectX podcast, with Kaleidoscope, Ghost Rider 730, J Long 908, Flip Money, and some other amazing people that always joins us as well. And of course, to the regular usual suspects who always look out for me and reach out on a daily, whether they call me, Xbox Live, or on Xbox playing with me, that rock out with me. People like Sir Merkham, Master Chief, Tuck Master, Sega Forever, Sega Man, E-Rock X, Megatron, Poseidon Aru, UK Dazzler, Boomstick, Primal Eve, so many wonderful people. The Big Kahuna, the Welch Gamer, like I said, a lot of wonderful people that are at this point not only fellow gamers, but they're like family and good friends. So guys, see you soon. I hope you enjoyed the video. It's from the heart. I had a lot of fun making it, and I hope this clarifies a lot better what I was trying to say without people trying to stir up any drama or fake drama like they always try to do on social media, like Twitter, YouTube, or even Facebook. Xbox for life, like a sickness that can't be cured. That's my saying. That's my slogan. Don't get triggered, people. It's just gaming. It's all for fun. Let's game. Let's have a fun time and not take it too so hard. Love you guys. See you soon. Peace.